It lasts a while, yeah.
My name is Trevor Atkins.
And we're here at Native Books, Namia Books. And we're here at the Lahoihoi Ea pre-celebration.
Pre-celebration, I like it. So pre-celebration.
So you were thinking about a question that someone asked you.
The question was, what does it mean to be a successful Hawaiian? For me, I gotta edit the question and say, what does it mean to be a successful non-Hawaiian? And when I think about that, I think about plants and animals and all the waves of migration that have come long before us po'e haole. And I think, about the plants that have found their way to not have a large impact on the environment, to not change this place so much that it becomes unrecognizable, but the plants that have no choice but to blend in and find harmony in the cultural fabric, the natural historical fabric that already exists here. So I think it's not so much I don't really like the word successful, but more the idea of harmony, of what does it mean to be in harmony with your environment, to be in harmony with Hawaiian people here, and Hawaiian things and plants and animals. The end.
Aloha everybody, thank you for those that have come far to join us on this day. Especially in this, I'll say a week of multiple events leading up to this weekend, to this Saturday. It's a great honor for myself to be a part and support Lahoihoi Ea, especially for Knowledge in Motion. And as well, we'd like to thank Namia and Kai for opening up this space for us to be able to share with you guys and others on this very special day. I'd like to bring in the other components and support in the day from Mr. Imai.
Aloha mai kako, welcome. Thank you again to Namia Hawaii for having us here. This is actually pretty exciting for us. We're sort of kind of covering unprecedented grounds right now for Lahoihoi Ea. For those of you here, you guys are pretty familiar with Lahoihoi Ea. So this is more or less just a celebration of the last 30 or so years that since 86 when Kikunia and a bunch of you here were part of that initial restoration of this celebration and what it meant at a very critical time for the Hawaiian movement in general. So we're very excited to sort of take a look back in history and also have the people here to sort of walk us through it. Ako Imai Kalani, ako Baron, everyone here has a close and personal relationship with Lahoihoi Ea, and it's our intention as I guess the guys to Awamoe for this cycle until we pass it on to somebody else, is to really grow and expand and really focus on the celebration of who we are and how far we've come, of all things Lahui. So we're very excited and very appreciative to have this opportunity here to share with you guys just the evening. We have Ava, there'll be music. For those of you guys who know grassroots stuff, there's also a fundraiser going on, so if you want to support, please go over and we'll with that too. And everything goes basically to having Lahoihoi basically every single year. This July was special in that we actually tried to do 5 events, which before was only 1. Our intention is to grow along with our Lahui. So again, mahalo to La'a for setting this up. Mahalo to Mersa, to Maile, to everybody, Mele, sorry. To everybody for coming down. And we look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday around the flag. And I think it's going to be a great day, so thank you. Yeah.
The Hawaiian flag on the square this afternoon. It was the same place where British Admiral Richard Thomas restored kingdom 143 years ago. So they put the flag upside down to symbolize what the group's leader said is the distress of the Hawaiian people.
Very important. Very important. All Hawaiians recognize what the British did. The United States government has not done it yet.
Lahoihoi said the U.S. government has yet to admit it was involved in the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy back in 1893.
We want the United States government to recognize our sovereignty as the Hawaiian nation and to restore our Aboriginal lands.
Lahoihoi said the future of Hawaii, including whether or not the islands remain a part of the United States, should be decided by the native Hawaiians.
Yeah, my name is Noah Helela. So I've grown up here in Hawaii, and I've grown up as a child of Hawaiian activists. As a lot of people know, my mother, Laulani Teal, and my father, Hanaloa Helela, are both very adamant, strong activists who've been in the movement since before I was born. In fact, that was basically how I came to exist. And I came here tonight to, because my mom, she texted me and she told me, she's like, hey, I'm at Native Books, come down. So I came down, and what I'm seeing is really awesome. We're getting to watch this video, and it's great.
Oh, great moment. Aulani was great. She was great. And I'm sure glad she's not into politics and religion. Yeah, that'd be dangerous. I don't know. I don't know. For me, watch this guy kind of, sometimes kind of bombers. Planning a mafia. But as always, he played the face too. Yeah, I don't know. We did what we did because had to. And apparently some of it worked. Still get young moles running around making trouble. That's a good carcass. Nice to see Lahoihoi Ea still around. Because there was a time when it had come down to just my family sitting over there going, freak you! I think good. Yeah, Hawaiians still thinking, maintain. I think what we tried to do really was two things. One, spread the word, and two, that you can't be neutral in a crowd of monks beefing each other and have things happen. One thing Lahoihoi was based on, that we support any Hawaiians doing good for Hawaiians. We don't care for why, who you believe, even if I don't like what you're doing. Yeah, and I don't know. Fun. It's nice to see the young guys, and I see young guys making young guys. Oh, Lahoihoi, cuz. I get 14 more. How many you get? Catch up. Because if nothing, we might just breed so much the guys no more room for anything else. They gotta leave. No. Well, we can try it. I mean, we tried almost everything else. Never worked. Nobody wanted to buy bombs with me from the Koreans, so I don't know.
Hi, honey. This is my papa. I've been around. I was raised in it like this, so it's good to see that it progressed. Because for a while it was just us, you know what I mean, going down. So it's my tell you that everybody knows and everybody's aware of it. I didn't realize how much people actually know about it now. So I was surprised that it's out there and everybody wants to know what's going on.
So another OG from the original Lahoihoi. Because Lahoihoi actually only had 9 guys. 12 maybe if you get around to that period. But by then it was almost 12. But it's one of the original 9 guys.
Well,
it was really good to watch that. It's been a long time. Yeah, that's true, yeah. It came down to like 9, 8 men.
Yeah.
Holding it up. I'm glad that to see that it's progressing now. I don't think our politics have ever really changed. I'm still for, and brother and I always talk about it, say that we're still for full, complete, unfettered independence for people. That's pretty much, I stand in solidarity with any Kanakamo'o organization that promotes and advocates struggles. It's been a long struggle,
There you go.
Yeah, hard struggle. In fact, in our time, we had a lot of occupations going on. That's probably a big difference. I haven't seen that in. You must have had an occupation now, right? Not since the. I can't recall. I'll leave it to you guys. It's been a long time.
Oh, we would win.
We never win that.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, the Lahoihoi Ea was a really good concept, and I'm glad it's still on today. It still maintains that model or Maukeo Ka'aini component, but even more now, we kind of, as I get older, I kind of breed a newer understanding. Like, I'm not much of a public speaker, so it's probably why a lot of the events is more behind the scenes. Pushing the platform was basically my task. Yeah, I don't know, we'll leave it at that for now. I'm not just being put on the spot. I'm more of a pillar kind of a person. Set up, situate, stuff like that. I think for me too, by 1993, 94, I had to get a real job. A lot of struggle, spent almost a solid 10 years as odd jobs and doing struggle, and whatever occupation, talking to a lot of people, getting solid foundation. But this is probably the best event now around town that we gotta actually mobilize and educate, and the volunteer aspect about being in the nation, that period is over, man. This is awesome. Stand and recruit. Get in line. Stand up. Yeah, so that's it. Mahalo.
My name's Darren. Been with this thing for a little while here. It's changed a lot. We've learned a lot more. We know a lot more now. Yeah, we were very angry before. And I think we're changing. I think it was necessary in those days. I don't think there was any credibility. You could always push the Hawaiians around. They always pushed around real good. They didn't make any fuss. So you just pushed them around, no problem. And then you had to have people resist. You can't do that kind of thing. You do that kind of stuff, and you're going to hear an earful. I think it was necessary to be angry in those days. And I think the message has gotten around that you can't do stupid stuff anymore. You can't do that. The other thing that's happened is I think we've learned a great deal more. I think we've come to the realization that it's not a tribal kind of thing. Okay, we've come to the realization it's not an issue of, oh yeah, we want the ancestral lands back. You want the whole ball of wax, man. We want independence, man. There's none of this partial kind of stuff. I think we've come to the conclusion that we don't need the approval of the United States. We don't need approval of the state of Hawaii. We don't need it. Those guys are irrelevant. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen far faster than anybody knows. So I think the focus has kind of changed, and I think it's really appropriately so. In the old days, I mean, everybody's very angry and you're. But the thing is, we were all there and everybody was angry and nobody wanted to bring anybody else in. And who wants to come to a place where everybody's all angry and, And I don't think that's what Lahoihoi Ea was about. Lahoihoi Ea is a celebration. It was a good day. The nation was restored. It was a happy day. And I think really that's where we need to push. I don't think we need to be angry anymore. And I think that's part of the good thing that's happened with it. And, once you stop being angry and you welcome people, then people show up. And I think that's been definitely an improvement. I think that we need to turn it into a national celebration. We need to involve not just the Hawaiians, we need to involve everybody, because it's a celebration that involves everybody. Everybody who lives in the Pai'aina. It involves everybody. And I think that we are on the way to doing that.
My name is Karen Murray. A lot of you know me, but a lot of you might not. I was kind of mentored into this through Koi Puna. We were doing a political coffee house, and he used to come by. And then Soli had his office upstairs at that time. And then all kinds of things started happening, and there was so much to support, and you never knew who was doing what, and it was interesting times to figure out who was doing what, and interesting to also figure out the role of allies in the movement. And one of our friends even spent 10 years on a paper, working on a paper on the role of allies in indigenous people's movements. And I think from the early 70s until and up till now, it's always been interesting to try and figure out what and where we're heading. And I think we do need to keep our edge, our anger, because the organism that we're up against is so vast and large, and if we don't keep our anger, then we might fall into the many traps laid for us. But at the same time, there's different levels, there's all different levels, and I think on a certain level we do need to learn to love and take care of each other, and understand, come to an understanding when to embrace and when to let go, and when to stand fast. These are things we all each generation has to learn for itself, I think. And right now, for me, I'm clenching my teeth every time I see Kirk Caldwell and him talk about what he's going to do to Thomas Square, Oh, excuse me, what he wants to do with Thomas Square. And next thing you know, going to be with McDonald's or something over there. I don't know. It's just, so I cannot. When he talks about talking to all the neighborhood interests, well, he didn't talk to the Hawaiians, I don't think. He talked to Straub Clinic. He talked to, other places, but I don't think he talked to the people who, just the fact that all of a sudden Sunday is taken is kind of interesting to me. So I don't know. That's my thing.
Aloha, I'm Kiani Rollins. This is my mom, Liko. I invited her to come. We're from Molokai. I guess there's a lot of things I'd like to say, but I get really nervous when I'm on spotlight. I know for a lot of my friends, it's been a challenge to figure out which movement to follow, I guess. Who are the people we can trust? Yeah. But this is interesting. I learned a lot from the film, and I'm gonna pass the mic on.
Aloha kako. O leana kanoa wang ko inoa. Uncle Imai's neighbor when he was growing up in Kalihi. Been fortunate to be in Kaiapuni programs, immersion programs my whole life, from Punana Leo all the way to Anuenue. And all of those years, we never know about Lahoihoi Ea. We weren't taught that in our school. And I went to an immersion school. So I can only imagine, guarantee, every other school, kids weren't learning that either. And so as a kumu, as an educator, as somebody who's trying to make changes within the community and the Lahui, we're trying to hype up and remind people of the importance of these Hawaiian holidays. La Ho'i, La Ku'oko'a. These are really big days that our kupuna celebrated, and we need to celebrate them. So as you know, Kanaka trying to teach our Hamana and our Keiki, like I want my kids to know about it, so they talk about it. Whenever we go by Thomas Square, they know, oh, Papa, Lahoihoi Ea. I want them to know that. I want them to be proud of this event, because there's something big that happened that still holds a lot of the truth that people don't want to acknowledge. And it's the truth that is ono that our people need to taste. And so the more people that know about it, the more people that talk about it and discuss it, even if they against it, if they're discussing it and talking about it, then I think that's really my kai. And so to watch the old film and to see some of how it started and to look at where it is now, but the young guys running them and trying to make them change and trying to hype it up using the technology we get and the resources we get now, I really feel that we're at a good point where we're pushing, and we're not there, and we're never going to be satisfied. But we remain hungry and ono for this, and we really hope to spread this out to all of the keiki. They need to know the truth. They need to know the true history. They need to know that not everything is peachy clean and rosy, that we went through a rough time, but that we're still here. That all of the heva never stop us. We're going to keep going, we're going to fight it, and we're going to huli this. And so I feel fortunate to be here tonight in the presence of some of the people who chewed down for a long time, and the presence of the people who's chewing down now too. And with me and my ohana and my kupuna, the thousands behind me, we will continue to stand for this and fight for this and support this and educate about this, because that is at least my role for now, and we'll continue to do that. But I really want to mahalo you, Uncle, and everybody who's been a part of this for a long time, and mahalo for giving me that ono, because once I got my taste, there's no going back. Ooh, ono, yeah. The thing is ono. So now we like give our kids that ono, make them proud about who we are, where we're from, make them proud of our history and our people and the brilliance of our people, but make them proud of knowing who they are and where they're from. And that's kind of the forefront I try to take, and we'll continue to learn and push for. But mahalo.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Makaala Rollins. My ohana is over there to my left. And for me, I was fortunate enough to be surrounded in the Kaiapuni, the immersion program, and even more fortunate to have these kinds of stories reinforced to me by my kupuna, my grandparents. I was watching that video, and I was watching Mililani talking about, you know, occupying Hilo Airport, and I remember my grandfather telling me about the story when they actually went down to the airport, because they were homesteading down in Keaukaha, and they were actually protesting the airport, and he had taken my oldest uncle, my mom's older brother, down there to go and protest them taking away those lands down in Keaukaha for the airport. And for me, it was something that really stuck into my mind from an early age. And so them being such staunch supporters of knowing our histories, knowing where we came from, knowing the injustices that have happened to our people, but yet still at the same time, you know, enforcing this idea that we need to be educated. We need to educate ourselves, and not just to educate ourselves in a Western sense, but educate ourselves in a Maoli sense, and let that Maoli aspect come out in us, and continue on that fight, because it's a constant fight. And like Anakala said, aloha get two sides. It's not singular. It's, you know, you get plenty of aloha, so you're gonna love somebody, but at the same time, if it's your ohana, you're gonna set them in their place and tell them, this is what we stand for, and you know, and in that aloha, that's how come I'm telling you these kinds of things, because that's what you need to hear, and this is what the realities of life are. And so I mahalo my kupuna for that, and I mahalo Anakala for saying that, because it really rang true into my na'au. And like Laiana was saying too, it's that ono that you know, they put into your not just your mind, but you know, into your na'au, to your pepe'au, yeah. And so yeah, you're gonna hear him 500 times. Hey kupuna, I already heard this story. You're gonna hear him again, because that's how important that story is. It's never lost. It's meant to be perpetuated, so that when you sleep, you can even see that story when you sleep, and that's the kind of things that we try to create for our own ohanas, so that mo'olelo is never lost. Because you know, us as Hawaiians, we come from a tradition of ha'i mo'olelo, you know, storytelling, and making sure that mo'olelo is potent even to the very end. And so these things kind of ring true to me now as an adult, having as a makua too, you know, having kids, and wanting to pass on these mo'olelo, you know. These are how our kupuna live on in us, and this is how our kupuna will live on for generations, yeah, within these mo'olelo. So we need to be onipa'a, you know. And I look at that word onipa'a, and you know, I like to think how everybody likes to break down Hawaiian words. Aloha, you know, alo and ha and haole, ha ole, you know what I mean? But you know, you look at onipa'a, brother. You know, there's mana'o behind that too, brother. You gotta oni eli apa'a, brother. You gotta kind of like move your body, dig down deep. You gotta dig down deep until you really rooted. And so onipa'a is not just standing firm. It's being rooted to your aina, being rooted to your connections, your kupuna, and being pa in who you are. So knowing who you are, where you came from, super important. Knowing our history, super important. You know, and that's how we're gonna convey, and that's how we not only convey that side of aloha, but you know, that love side of aloha, but also that scolding side of aloha too, where you know, you scolding that person because you get plenty aloha for them. You know, you don't like see them stray off the path. You know, so mahalo Anakala. We always try to emulate our kupunas in the best way, and I think by maintaining our histories and maintaining our our events, right? You know, that helps to keep that going. So mahalo nui for letting me share a little bit mana'o.
Aloha, my name is Imai Winchester. I first met Kekuni when I was just beginning graduate school, somewhere right past 2000. We would go to his meetings, you know, the Thursday halavais. And I was there, got to meet kind of, I guess most of you is actually where I met you, is in his living room. And for me, Lahoihoi Ea and Kekuni specifically for me, and I know that everybody has a certain pilina in some way, form or fashion to Lahoihoi Ea. But for me, I still remember the first meeting, you know, talking about what Lahoihoi was, because up until that point I had not known. I was 20 something and had no clue. And then after spending maybe 2 years of working with Kekuni folks to try to get some logistical stuff together, 1 year we got handed over the whole shebang. Rich is a difficult kuleana to awamba. I'm gonna be kind of straight about that. And so not only were we given just a logistical charge of the entire thing, but the whole mo'okua, how it seemed, you know, with the ava ceremony being passed on by Uncle Imai Kalani. And sort of trying to navigate how our generation would sort of frame Lahoihoi Ea in a way that I think would transgress, I guess, generations. So for me, Lahoihoi Ea and looking at these old films really makes me appreciate, you know, the depth. As somebody who works, you know, pulls a lot of weeds and stuff like that, and every day gotta do those kind of menial chores, I do appreciate more and more, especially as a teacher now, I appreciate more and more the everyday toils that it takes. I think one of the uncles said, you know, a lot of guys talk about, I'm gonna die for the nation, I'm gonna, whatever, give the ultimate sacrifice. But I believe, if memory serves me correct, you know, this uncle said that dying is the easy thing, you know, living every single day, every single minute, every single second, to be pono, to strive to that, to do something, to create opportunities for other people. That is the true sacrifice. Dying is easy, we all gonna die. And so for me, I try to keep that in my mind every July and June, because Lahoihoi has become sort of a seasonal experience for us. And like all kuleana, you know, it's a burden, but it's a privilege. And like most kuleanas, you depend on a lot of people, and we're very blessed, I believe, to sit not just in this circle, but in a larger circle of people who do know, who do care, and their mo'opuna and the generations that they represent, I think speaks volumes to where we're going to be headed as a Lahui. So as one of the main garuts, it is very special for me to be sitting in a circle of people who were the main garuts before, and I hope somebody in here will be the main garut in the future. Yeah, because my clock is ticking. I think you guys had 20 years. I'm already on 7, so I got 13 years, so who's next? But I just want to thank everybody once again. I think Lahoihoi Ea is a great celebration for us all. It's a good place to engage in discussion. It's a good place to enjoy our success, you know. And it's good to meet up again, to talk story, to ho'i, to return to the same spot again, and, you know, kick back to the old memories, and celebrate just being alive, because Lahui is living. And it's good to be sharp, you know, with the things that we do and we say, but it's also very good to balance that ku with the hina. And I think for us, Lahoihoi Ea is meant to be that healing aspect, I think, for our nation that we need. You know, our kupunas knew that, you know, even in war, you needed to have peace. And I think that's that's one of the critical things that our people need is celebrations. Plenty of times we get together, it's about fighting. But I think Lahoihoi is special and unique, not just because of its historical significance, but because, you know, it's a celebration. And I think as one of the lead organizers, that's something we really try to stay true to that. And we celebrate with ku as well. So thank you very much.
Okay, aloha. My name is Noah Helela. I'm the son of Lalani Teal and Haloa Helela. I grew up with this activist movement as it was pretty much my whole life. It's literally been my entire life. I've grown up with this activist movement, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm very happy about it because, you know, it's great, you know, to not have to be strangled by the chains of oppression or whatever the heck else. You know, like, sorry, excuse me, what am I saying? Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of things going on nowadays, you know, there's a lot of really stressful situations happening, and nobody knows when they're gonna end. You know, that's kind of rough, but we're all gonna make it through it. I hope so anyway. You know, we're all gonna make it through. So, what am I doing? I don't know.
I really want to mahalo everybody who's here, and especially those who've put on this event and Lahoihoi Ea in recent years, now, and from times, you know, from a long time ago. It was really awesome, I have to say, to see a movie that I could say was before my time. I hadn't left the windward side yet. So that's really awesome, and I have to say I'm so grateful for everybody who's put so much into Lahoihoi Ea and our movement. And it was wonderful to see, you know, a lot of them guys in the film are people that we knew who are not here anymore. And it's awesome that we have some who still are here. And it was great. And I know Uncle Peter had to leave, but that's because he's gonna go practice right now. He's gotta go train on the drummer so that they can do a good performance on Saturday of those same songs and new ones. So stay tuned for Saturday on that, and should be good, right?
Good promo.
Yeah.
Should have been here yesterday.
Yeah. And I just have to say mahalo, and even to this day, it's so wonderful. I mean, I have to say that I remember that time that Uncle Snake was talking about the time was only his family under the tree. I think Noah was a baby and we were there, and I remember walking around going, oh my God, nobody's here, and finally I found these guys under a tree. You know, and that was it. That was Lahoihoi Ea that year, you know, and I think there was like maybe 6-7 people, you know, and
we brought most of them.
You brought all of them, but to be able to see what Lahoihoi Ea has become, you know, through the love and work of this next generation is just so oh, it's so awesome. And I have to also thank Baron, because my historic knowledge of Lahoihoi Ea, I have to say, first couple years I didn't quite get it. I knew there was something about the flag, you know, it was the day we pulled the flag down and put the flag up and, you know, all of those things, but it took me a long time to get the whole story, and it was from Baron telling it every year, you know, and his flag every year getting bigger and bigger. You know, I remember we started out with a regular size flag, right? The regular flag, and we ended up getting in trouble because the time Kavika walked on the flag, on the U.S. flag, they just laid the U.S. flag on the ground, and he accidentally stepped on the U.S. flag, and there was a big, like, a bunch of aunties got upset, and people were like, all like, oh, this is not the Hawaiian movement, and all this kind of stuff, and anyway, that was good fun too. And I have to say that even today with stuff that happens here, there's part of my heart that's warm because you know, the dramas of it all is such a part of our movement, you know, it is. And it's been every, you know, every year from, you know, the planning of the events, the carrying out of the events. Shucks, I remember at the tribunal in 1993, I remember actually throwing pots. I was hapai then with him, and was actually like literally throwing stuff across the room because I got so mad, and Kekuni had to come in, and he actually got down on his knees and was shielding his head from the pots. I'm sorry. That's a sign of a great leader. To face the crazy hapai woman. But anyway, you know, I just have to say that all of those things, all of those hard times, the good times, all of that just makes me really love the movement more. And it's so awesome to see everybody here now, and to see this being carried on, and to see the future generations coming up now. You know, we see those keikis in that video, and I think one was your mom, and you know, those little keikis, and you know, now we have this new batch of keikis running around, and you know, someday people will be looking at the video of them going, hey, that's the kind, you know. And that's to me what it's all about, you know, the love, the sweat, the tears, the speeches, I know what you're saying, Karen. Karen is like the master of subtlety, not so subtle, you know. And so
no, I always loved how it was, you could hear views from the other islands at these events.
yeah, it's true. There's always been,
Not only Hawaii Islands, but other places.
yeah, there's always been the times to share, and the times to, you know, sometimes have a good struggle, as some people used to say a lot, you know.
Intellectual discourse, my dear.
Yeah. Intellectual discourse. That's the word. And yeah, it's been a long time, but with the growing of the flags, you know, over the years, I remember just thinking at one point, Baron's flag, nobody can carry that. I mean, it was so, the pole was so long and the flag was so huge. Yeah, and yet there it is. It's still going, and it's turned into something very beautiful. So mahalo, everyone.
My name is Lahoihoi Ea. I want to close this session of Lahoihoi Ea here at Namea. I'd like to thank everybody for coming and being able to share. For me, this is actually my first Lahoihoi Ea. I actually knew Lakukoa first, and I was able to actually celebrate it back home on the Hawaii Island at the UH, which I thought it was interesting because they merged it with other stuff and they just called it, as a celebration. But I do believe we need to celebrate and as well share this kind of celebrations with our family. So thank you for your guys' commitment and your years of service as we pass on and take on the torch. And so thank you, and see everybody Saturday.
Raised in a quiet, mellow town, it's easy just to party, kick back and let your guard down. Fishing from the sea cliffs, hunting in the valley, but in the city the bums are the ones hunting in the alley. Save me from this jungle, please. Pretty please. Hookers on the street, corner selling dead disease. No tree in sight, traffic light after traffic light. Pulling out a gun is the way that these suckers fight. Gotta get it one way, ticket on a plane. For staying another day, I know it's saying. I'm speaking with the knowledge I grew up with. Speaking about the brothers who are laughing, joke around with. Brothers who are live for, brothers who are cry for. And if it comes down to it, brothers I would die for. All I gotta do is make that call. Jiggity George of the jungle, watch out for the brick wall. Cause I'm caught in the concrete jungle, and I don't know where to go. Said I wanna go home, back where I belong, to the place that I was before. Living in the concrete jungle, and I don't know where to go. Said I wanna go home, back where I belong, to the place that I was before.
Well, I was living in a bigger urban city. I needed a G, I wrote a whole lot of pity on me. I wanna go back to where I belong, where the herb is green, a fresh hit on the bomb. Helo, there's no place like home. Step into my crib and welcome to the terror zone, where we're ripping and tripping and flipping on the rhymes that we're hitting. I come in and win and winning away, so yo, wait a minute. I didn't dig it, I didn't know where to go. I guess that's what I get when I'm living in this jungle, where the people don't get shit for others. Not like home where we all be loving one another. You gotta watch your back every second, so check it. A lot of people here love to rip it. I flip script, I can't wait till the day I roll. Until then, I dread for the moment that I'm back home.
Living in the concrete jungle, and I don't know where to go. Said I wanna go home, back where I belong, to the place that I was before. Living in the concrete jungle, and I don't know where to go. Said I wanna go home, back where I belong, to the place that I was before. Living and tripping and ripping up on the concrete. Jump, go, here we go. Living and tripping and ripping up on the concrete. Jump, go, here we go. Here's a little story about the life in the fast lane. Juggle the fast and you're gonna go insane. Can't be high, back in the country. John Rastafari. Take me home, don't wanna stay no more. Gotta get away from this concrete jungle. Take me home, don't wanna stay no more. Gotta get away from this concrete jungle. Living in the concrete jungle, and I don't know where to go. Said I wanna go home, back where I belong, to the place that I was before. Living in the concrete jungle, and I don't know where to go. Said I wanna go home, back where I belong, to the place that I was before.
Iku mau mau, iku lah. Iku mau mau, iku hulu hulu ikala na vau. Iku lah. Iku la na vau. Iku lah.